Start with lesson number 5, Indigo, written by Louis Fisher. Now, what is indigo? Indigo, it is a name of a plant from which a blue color powder is obtained, and that powder is used as dye. D-Y-E, dye. Okay. Now, this lesson talks about how one of the sharecropper named Rajkumar Shukla, who was illiterate but he was resolute, and he just comes to meet Gandhi so that and complain about the injustice of the landlord system which was prevailing in Bihar. Now, was he successful in that or not? Let us read the lesson and find out. Now, Louis Fisher, he had written a book, that is the Life of Mahatma Gandhi, and it has been reviewed as one of the best books written on Gandhi by Times Educational Supplement. Now, the book is a first-hand talk between the author and Gandhi when the author met Gandhiji in the year 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram in central India. And over there were 2,301 delegates and many other visitors had gathered over. He had come from Champaran, and he also requested Gandhiji to go with him place. Now, Rajkumar Shukla, he was about the injustice of the landlord system which was prevailing in Bihar. That he had an appointment in Kanpur and was committed to go to the other parts of India also. And then Gandhiji returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. But still, Rajkumar Shukla, he fought, and he just till Gandhiji agreed to go with him. Now, after months, Gandhiji went to Calcutta and Shukla was there again. He waited till Gandhi was free, and then two of them took a train to Bihar, and Shukla took him to the house of Rajendra Prasad, and also the president of the independent India. Now, Rajendra Prasad, he was out of town when Gandhiji and Rajkumar Shukla, and he used to worry Rajendra Prasad so to help the sharecroppers, because Rajendra Prasad was a lawyer. So he wanted Rajendra Prasad to fight for this sharecroppers. So, and he wanted that this farmer should be free from the injustice which was done by the landlords. Now, Gandhiji, he went to Muzaffar to complete the information about the sharecroppers, and he sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani of the Arts College, whom he had seen at Tagore's Shantiniketan school. So, Gandhiji, he sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani of the Arts College, and whom he had seen at Tagore's Shantiniketan school. Now, when Gandhiji arrived at midnight, it is on 15th April 1917, Professor Kriplani was waiting for Gandhiji at the station with a large number of students, and Gandhiji stayed for 2 days with Professor Malkani, who was a government school teacher. Now, the professor was unafraid to show sympathy for lawyers like Gandhi who fought for home rule. Now, as the sharecropper, farmers came to know about Gandhiji's mission, and so they came to meet him. Now, the lawyers of Muzaffarpur, they just briefed Gandhiji about their cases and the fees that they charged the sharecroppers. So, Gandhiji scolded them for charging such high fees from the poor farmers. Now, Gandhiji wanted the farmers to be free from fear and not to be burdened and crushed by court proceedings, whatever proceedings were going on in the court. He didn't want the farmers to get burdened by this proceedings of the court. And most of the agricultural land in Champaran also was owned by the Englishmen, and the Indian farmers, they worked as tenants and they grew indigo on that land, and they were forced to grow 15%, or we can say the 3/20th of the farm with indigo, and give the harvest as rent to the English owners as a long-term contract. So they were forced to grow 15% of indigo and give the harvest, when means that when the crop was ready, they had to give that crop as rent to the English owners. Hearing about the synthetic indigo being produced in Germany. Now these English owners, they forced these tenants, the sharecroppers, to pay them compensation for being released from their sharecropping arrangement. Now whatever contract was there between the English owners and the sharecroppers, these farmers. Now if these farmers, they wanted to be released from that arrangement, then what they had to do? The English farmers, these English owners, they forced these sharecroppers to pay them the compensation for being released from their sharecropping arrangement. Now these farmers, they were illiterate. They came to know about the synthetic indigo, and so they demanded their money back. And some farmers, they were able to keep lawyers, while the English landlords, they hired the thugs, so that they could just threaten these sharecroppers, these farmers. Now Gandhiji, he reached Champaran and managed to get the facts, as many facts he could get. He visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association. Now the secretary refused to give any information to Gandhiji, whom he called an outsider. Then Gandhiji, he called on the British official commissioner of the Tirhut division, and he bullied Gandhiji and advised him to leave that place. Then Gandhiji proceeded to Motihari. It was the capital of Champaran, and there several lawyers accompanied him. He was also greeted by a crowd of people at the station, and he used a house at his headquarters and continued the investigation. He wanted to find out more about the English owners and how they were being we can say exploiting these sharecroppers. Now just at that time, Gandhiji, he received the news that a farmer was being ill-treated, and so he decided to meet that farmer. So he was taken on the back of an elephant, but as he moved a little distance, he was stopped by a police superintendent's messenger, and he was ordered to return to the town in his carriage. Then Gandhiji, he was taken to the superintendent's house and was served a notice that he should leave Champaran. But Gandhiji, he signed that he would disobey the order. Means he is not ready to quit Champaran. He is not ready to leave Champaran, and he then what happened, that he received a call that he had to appear in the court. Now all night Gandhiji, he kept awake, and he telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come to Bihar with the influential friends. He wired a full report to the Viceroy and sent instructions to the ashram. The next morning, there were thousands of people gathered around the courthouse, and the British officials felt powerless without Gandhiji's cooperation. So he helped them to regulate the crowd. He gave them the proof that their power could be questioned by the Indians. Now the British, they were confused. So they asked for the postponement of the trial to consult their superiors. Gandhiji protested against the delay. And then Gandhiji told them that he had faced a conflict of duties. On one hand, he didn't want to be a lawbreaker, but on the other hand, he also didn't want to disobey the voice of his conscience. What his heart spoke, what his inner conscience told him, didn't want to disobey that. The magistrate ordered Gandhi to furnish bail for 120 of the recess, but Gandhiji refused to pay. Now the judge, he released Gandhiji without bail, and he also told that he would not be. The court also just told that, means the court also resumed the judge, and they told that the judgment won't be given for several days, and Gandhiji was given the liberty so that he could remain at liberty and he could continue with his work. Now many prominent lawyers, they arrived from Bihar and they discussed with Gandhiji that if he was sent to prison, then there would be nobody to guide them, and so they were forced to go back to their houses. But Gandhiji demanded them to think of the injustice to the sharecroppers. And the lawyers, along with Rajendra Prasad, discussed among themselves that Gandhiji was a stranger, yet he was ready to go to prison for these poor farmers. And on the other hand, now these lawyers, they were the resident of this Champaran district and had served the peasants, so it would be shameful to go home for them because they were living in Champaran. Now Gandhiji, being an outsider, means he was a stranger for these people, but though being a stranger, he was ready to fight for these farmers, and the lawyers being the, we can say, the citizens of that particular district. And so if they were not ready to fight for these farmers, then it would be a shameful on their part. So the lawyers, along with Rajendra Prasad, they discussed all these things, and when they came to know that Gandhiji, being a stranger, he was ready to go to prison for these poor farmers, and if they were not being helpful to these farmers, then it would be a shameful for them. Now Gandhiji, he felt that this battle of Champaran was won. He divided the group into pairs, and then he put down the order in which each one would be arrested any time. Gandhiji then received a letter from the magistrate informing that the lieutenant governor of the province, they had dropped the case and the civil disobedience had triumphed for the first time in India. That means the civilians, they had won for the first time in India. All this time the English maybe the English officers, these people, they were winning the game, but this was the first time that the civilians, the people of that particular district, they had won. Then Gandhiji and the lawyers, they made a inquiry into the complaints of the farmers, and they collected the detailed information. Then in the month of June, Gandhiji was called by Sir Edward Gate, who was the lieutenant governor, and he made plans for further civil disobedience if he didn't return. Now Gandhiji, he met the governor 4 times, and then an official commission of inquiry was made into the sharecroppers situation. In that, Gandhiji was the only representative of the farmers. He stayed for 7 months in Champaran, and again for shorter visits he spent a year of his life over there, means that in the Champaran district. They agreed to make the refunds to the peasants, that is the farmers, as there were huge evidences against them. These people, like Gandhiji, he got a huge evidences against these big planters, and they wanted to know what they had to pay. So Gandhiji told them to pay 50%. Now the representative of these big planters, they offered, that means they were ready to pay 25%, and Gandhiji believed them, and the deadlock was broken. And Gandhiji believed that the amount of the refund was less important than the fact that the landlords, they had to surrender the part of their money and their prestige. Now whether they are paying them 50% or they are ready to pay 25%, but that was not a important fact. The important thing was that they had to surrender some part of their money to these farmers, and once they are surrendering this money, they are ready to pay back the money. That means they are also giving out their self-respect, their prestige. So this built up the courage of the farmers, and the British planters, they abandoned their estates and they were given back to the farmers, and the indigo sharecropping, thus it ended. So the British planters, they had to leave their estates and it were given back to the farmers, and in this way this indigo sharecropping it ended. Now Gandhiji, he wanted to do something about the cultural and the social backwardness which prevailed in the Champaran villages. So he called for volunteers to help. His wife Kasturba and his youngest son Devdas, he also arrived to help. Now Mahadev Bhai Desai, Narhari Parikh and several others came to help Gandhiji. Primary schools were opened in 6 villages. Kasturba taught the ashram rules of personal cleanliness and community sanitation. And free medicines were given to the sick people. Now Gandhiji saw the filthy state of the women's clothes, how dirty the clothes were of the women, and he asked Kasturba to talk to them about it. And one of the women took Kasturba into her hut and showed her that there were no boxes, or that they didn't have any cupboards to keep their clothes, and that she had only one sari which she was wearing. So Gandhiji kept a long distance watch on the ashram. He sent regular instructions by post and asked for financial accounts. Now the Champaran episode, it was a turning point in Gandhiji's life. He explained that what he did was an ordinary thing. He declared that the British could not order him about in his own country. So he explained that what he did was an ordinary thing. He declared that the British could not order him about in his own country. It was his own country. He was not a stranger over here. So the British could not give him any order what he had to do or not. Gandhiji's politics was intertwined with the practical day-to-day problems of the millions of the people. Gandhiji did. He tried to mold a new free Indian who could stand on his own feet and thus make the country free. Charles Free Andrews, an English pacifist, he became a devoted follower of Gandhiji. Many people felt that Andrews could help them. Gandhiji strongly opposed the suggestion because, according to him, asking help from Andrews was showing the weakness of their hearts. He assured the people that their cause of Satyagraha was just, so they should rely upon themselves to win the battle. In this way, Now, Gandhiji, his politics was a bit different. That he assured the people that their cause of Satyagraha was means it was very important, and so that they should depend upon themselves to win the battle. They should not rely upon others. In this way, Gandhiji taught them a lesson about self-reliance, to be dependent upon themselves, not upon anyone else. So they should be self-reliance. So in this lesson, we just learnt that how Gandhiji fought against the injustice which was done by the English owners, the big planters of the indigo, and how the farmers, those who were being exploited by these big planters, they were being given their share back. That is a 25% share was refunded by these planters to these poor farmers, and in this way the indigo sharecropping ended, and it was ended by Gandhiji. So Gandhiji, we can say that he fought very bravely and very wittily, we can say with quite intelligently he fought this battle. So here we learnt about our great national leader Gandhiji, and there are many other instances also which we can read in further, means in many of the books we read about Gandhiji's other incidents, how he fought for the independence of our country. So here we end with this lesson. We'll be meeting in the next session with a new lesson. Till then, goodbye.